Welcome to the Consulting Leaders Podcast, where we talk about the business of consulting. Whether you're looking to grow your practice or learn from the stories of leaders in consulting, you're in the right place. I'm your host, Guillaume Jouvencel, ex-PwC and co-founder of GHA Marketing. Join me as I interview the best consultants in their niche. Let's get on with the show. And welcome to Consulting Leaders. Let's jump straight into this. What got you into consulting and to start your own practice?
Okay, thanks for having me, first of all. And well, actually, my experience comes from different cultures and different perspectives. So I'm able to appreciate different cultures and different perspectives. So basically, when we face a problem, we're trying to find the perfect perfect maybe answer and solution for any given problem. So I have like 30 years in experience across MENA region, North America, South America, and Asian. So each environment has its own problems, its own challenges. So it's really difficult to define what sort of challenges you may face if you are not able to understand the culture you're dealing with. So I was originally pulled out in a consulting by intellectual challenge and the ability to have a broad, immediate, and measurable impact across all business sectors and industries, let's say major business industry. Then I realized that I could apply for strategic frameworks that maybe problem solving skills, much more efficient across multiple industry, as I mentioned, uh, by being embedded in just one. So I decided to build a 4D business consulting with two co-founders with me. When I saw the critical need in integrating strategy standards, especially for governments and digitalization and sustainable development in a single as advisory service, especially given in the rapid transformation of the Middle East, North Africa, where basically my born experience was there in the region. This like integrated approach that couldn't be achieved from within a traditional corporate or academic setting. So this is like a conclusion of why I'm in the business consulting field.
That's interesting. I think we're gonna pull in this cultural aspects quite a lot. What's the problem that you solve today? What is it that you help your clients achieve?
Uh, yeah, it's difficult to answer in short. Okay, the core problem that clients at 4DBC we usually struggle with transformation between recognizing the need to change, like digitizing, diversity, globalize, and efficiently in executing these kind of challenges to change the achievement towards sustainable growth and compliance. And across MENA region, as an example for a MENA region, the key pattern that I see that might work is designed to fix, let's say, economic diversification. I mean, if you could compare the economic diversification with the GCC, Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Middle East, North Africa, and the Moroccan market. Uh, these diversification helping states and corporations transitions away from over reliance and like hydrocarbons, for example. The second point I really recognize, which is the digital transformation in governments. This is like ensuring the rapid technology adoption uh, in a paired with robust ICT and green sustainability standard in alignment with governments towards sustainability. There's another factor, which is the human capital development and building local capabilities to manage a complex, strategic, and multiple projects in terms of diversifications. Also, there is another point, which as I do appreciate, which is the investment structuring. In MENA region, I found the investment structuring is in alignment with the public and private investment with both national for long-term vision. This gives like ability to build compatible and competed complex strategic projects towards technology adoption and sustainability, as I mentioned. Yeah.
So we have a large landscape here. Who is it that you support exactly? Like, are there different industries, different institutions, different type of companies? Do you have one specific type of business that you help? Like, how do you choose who you end up helping, Mohammed?
You mean in terms of clients?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. We have both public and private. But my ideal clients right now are the public institutions. We were focusing 10 years ago on a private sectors because we believe that private sectors is an important player in government, ministries, and large corporates for governments. So now we're moving our strategy to public institutions. Let's say government ministries, funds, agencies, and large corporates. Basically, they focus on national and regional strategy initiatives, particularly in technology, infrastructure, and sustainable developments. And let's highlight the sustainable developments as a main target for our uh, uh, strategy towards ideal clients and decision makers. Now, the real decision makers I need to influence inside those organizations are typically the chairmen, the CEOs, ministers, head of regulatory bodies. Those are the key players in developing sustainabilities, infrastructure, and the core technology in terms of strategy initiatives. And these are the individuals who are control the strategy agenda, the budget, and of course they have the authority to mandate organization-wide the changes. So that's how we are heading towards selecting our ideal clients in terms of decision makers. Yeah.
So who makes those decisions within those private and public institutions? Because I guess you have so many stakeholders involved, right? There are so many people who might be involved in the decision-making process, validating the funds, validating the scope. So, and that's going to be a kind of segue for our next question, which is how do you get in the room with the right people that you need the buy-in from? How do you orchestrate all this and make sure that everybody is educated the proper way, they understand the problem, they understand the consequence of that problem, and they understand the solution that you're going to help them implement? Who is it and
Yeah.
how do you get there?
Yeah, we define the key players first. As I said, the chairman, C-level, head of departments. Those are the key players in any organization. Typically, those are the strategies people. So when you build the relationship and sort of friendship commitment, uh, like a friendly relations with those C-levels and top management, you are targeting the individuals who are taking decisions, and therefore you are trying to draw with them a roadmap, ideal roadmap for large corporates and public institutions that are might be the ideal right choice to align your investment structuring, capital development towards any projects you are adapting. So typically those are the people that we are trying to focus. Okay, so if you have opportunity and success factors, this is going to be the most consulting opportunity to find through different work frame. Okay, so within these rules, you are developing, let's say, indirect sales funnels, a powerful methodology to work and bring qualified clients who understand what exactly you are developing with them. You see what I mean?
Yeah, no, that does make sense. So my question then, Mohammed, would be more: how do you brand yourself? How do you market? How, like, what has worked for you when it comes to attracting the right eyeballs to your consulting practice and for DBC? Like how do you get there?
Okay, first of all, you need to build a brand yourself. You build reputation for your own personal name. My
Yeah.
experience first, I started my experience 25 years ago as an academic. I was like a researcher in University of California, Santa Barbara. Previously, I was holding another position in University San Martin. They are both. I was developing R&D projects, and we had like so many projects with industry, with the Department of Defense. So when I grow up like in academic environment, gives me like a reputation that I can develop projects funded by the governments and deliver these kind of projects in a real life. You see what I mean? So I'm a person, of course, with my team, of course, not by myself. So I'm a person that I can turn ideas into real, tangible projects. Now, when it comes to reputation in consulting, so people will look at you as a person before they look at your company. So if you start your company 25 years ago, I started with the group. So it was like a challenge that I have to build the name of the company. Then I discovered that when I use my personal name to empower the company's brand, it's much easier, to attract more clients, because people, they will come to you because your knowledge, your expertise as a personal individual consultant. And then by time, you will be branding yourself within the company's environment and the company's reputation. And you have more team that are dedicated towards consulting. In just a matter of time, you will have branding and trust for a long-term relationship with the clients. This is one side. I personally build the trust by ensuring absolute confidence, transparency about deliverable, and the embedded interaction with my team deeply with the clients and the other side, internal staff, to co-create the solutions. This is give us like empower the trusting for a long-term relationship with the clients. So for example, to deliver result, we focus on action, measurable outcomes over theoretical reports. You see what I mean? Most of consulting companies, let's say medium consulting companies, even large size, even large companies, they are focusing more in delivering theoretical reports. We do something else. We do theoretical and actionable outcomes. This is like we help implement a long-term relationship with the client. That's it.
So I like that. And that means you're much more focused on strategy and implementation than just strategy/theory, which allows you to have longer engagement as well, I suspect, but also to get the actual tangible results for the clients. The problem in consulting is that you can come up with the best plan and the best strategy, but if the client doesn't have the capacity in-house to execute on that or doesn't know how to, that whole strategy goes to waste. But so a bit more upstream, Mohammed, what I'm trying to understand here is what marketing channel has worked for you to attract the right clients? So to give you some examples, do you do speaking engagements? Do you do emailing? Do you do LinkedIn? Do you do content in general? Do you do ads? Like what has worked for you to, I understand what happens downstreams and strategy and implementation, but before you get the engagements, what has worked for you to attract the right clients?
Okay, first of all, I'm an old-fashioned guy. I really don't rely on social media a lot. Okay, it's like, let's say 10-15% on social media, especially LinkedIn. I don't have Facebook and X. But I'm an old-fashioned guy, which means I like shake hands, I like face-to-face meetings, I like have a coffee, have a dinner with clients, develop different conversations. So I discovered this is the most straightforward to build a trust with the clients or prospective clients. Okay, so this is how personally I work. Uh, as a company, we have press releases that are friendly with the search engine, so people they can reach out to us. We have a strong media coverage. Let's say, okay, personally, I'm running like a media company, which is we have a DNBC business channel. It's an IPTV. We do interviews with people, programs, we broadcast, and we have a Time Business News, which is an online Google News, let's say, news portal. It's a 10 years old, so we are ranking. So we know how to target the right clients in different regions and people that reach out to us because of strong article that we publish. Or sometimes we do publish in our website, like a blogs. So we count more in reach out strategy rather than communicating and investing in social media a lot. As I said, I have like 10-15% investing in social media, especially LinkedIn. And that's how we reach out to people. Yeah.
So you have a mix of brand building and content generating strategy with the right outreach strategy, a bit old school to use your words, but that allows you to reach out to people who are actually warm and who've already been informed of what you do, the problems that they may be facing, and how you help them solve those problems. Is that
Correct. Yeah, correct. That's the way. That's the secret.
and that works. How do you
Yeah.
take those conversations from, okay, they're aware of what you do, right? They understand what you do, and they've got your reach out. How do you like make them cross the finish line? How do you go from all this to SOW, letter of engagement, we rock and roll?
Ah, well, we get them involved in these kind of engagements in terms of executing projects. Okay, so we invite stakeholders, we invite some resources from the client's level to get involved in an execution of any project. So we get them involved in the kitchen. The more they have eyes on you and the way how you execute your projects, it gives transparency and actions and gives like a sort of measurable outcomes in terms of delivery. And that's the first secret. So when they are involved with you in the same kitchen, they will be involved with you in different projects in the future, and they will do like recommendations to other networks. And this is one of the things that relay how the engagement works with the team. As I said, embedding my team deeply with the client's internal staff to co-create the solutions with us. You see what I mean?
That makes a lot of sense. So I like how the sales cycle is basically the beginning of the work. And I think that's a
Yeah.
very, very good and useful thing for consultants listening to us right now, because what you want is not to make a ton of promises, but then they need to take the risk when they sign. It's actually, hey, you know what? Let's start providing value. Let's start implementing the work. Let's start doing the first couple of whiteboard sessions. And let me show you. Like, let's co-build so that when I ask you for the sale, we are already halfway there, and you've already gotten some value, and you see how this value is going to transform even
Yes.
more value further down the stream. I
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
like keeping their strategy ahead of the curve. Essentially that we assure the current strategy that we're preparing with them for the next 5 years, for example, is not just fixing the last one. It's just we keep coming back. You see, we keep coming back with them.
I like that.
Yeah.
So when I was a consultant myself, Mohammed, at PricewaterhouseCooper, the partner who kind of taught me everything told me the following thing. He was like, Guillaume, there are two types of consultants. There are the hunters and there are the farmers. And he was like, I'm a hunter. I love the smell of fresh blood in the morning. I love to go after new business. That's my job. But the partners making the most money, the ones bringing in the most money, are the farmers, the ones able to take that initial engagements and transform it into a multi-layered, multi-year project, feeding other teams within the company. Those are the ones growing the fastest. How do you,
Yes.
Mohammed,
Excuse me. Come again.
you farm? How do you transform an initial engagement into a multi-layered, multi-year project? Keep on bringing value to the client, but also being able to make that client worth more to you.
Okay. So the before let me define something. We have some challenges as a consultants, okay?
Mhm.
Now, leading multiple organization at once is a big challenge.
Yeah.
It's really challenge, okay? You're a consultant. You were with the PwC, and it's one of the big four. So you understand what I'm talking about. When you lead a multiple organization at once, it's one of the challenges as a consultant. Now, the area where I find myself most stuck right now is scaling the delivery of specialized and high impact talent. Okay, so our work requires a very niche blend of strategy, vacuum, deep sectoral as well knowledge. So if you have a knowledge, you have a clear strategy in terms of what is the requirements for delivery. And this is like in terms of global standards. I'm not talking about my personal standards or my company's standard. It's any consulting global standards. They are aware of these challenges. Now, the challenge is ensuring that we are grow to meet the demand with the clients, of course, and the quality and unique integrated methodology that we as 4D Business Consulting replicate across all the teams without a personal touch. And this is like, it comes from deep experience from a high level clients that we are dealing with. So this is like maybe answering your questions that what would be the impacts of talent specialize in scaling delivery for the clients as a consultant, and challenges that we are facing exactly. Yes.
So, I mean, that's interesting. That's answering another question that I had in mind. So that's indeed super useful.
Yeah.
I guess, like a lot of consulting practice, you have two main constraints in the lifetime of your business. The first one is going to be scaling demand, right? So actually
Yes.
finding people who want your services, who want to work with you, and who are able to pay the amounts that you're asking, right? This is usually the first big hump to cross as a consultant. And then it's scaling supply. It's scaling the
Yes.
talents that will actually be able to deliver the level of service and the level of
Yes. 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 Yes.
quality that you want to deliver.
Yes. Yes. It's
Um,
it's more about skills development as well, and operation efficiency that comes in terms to
100%.
ensure that that you have ensured to grow in sustainability and impact of
Yeah.
this sustainability. Okay, so there are, as you know, there are key strategies to scale for any talent.
Yeah. No,
Uh,
this is a recruiting,
Recruiting,
training,
training,
and
exactly.
nurturing business. Because
Eh,
the problem with consulting is that when you get those people to become extremely skilled, right, after a few years of training,
Correct.
you've
Yes.
promoted them, you've like gave
Yes.
them increases and raises, they go and set up shop on their own. So it's
Yes.
really like
Exactly.
retention and
Yeah.
making sure
It's
that you keep
also,
them.
it's a long term commitment and productivity.
Yeah.
Focusing on retaining that. Most of players, they provide like a space for growth, investing in leadership training, and ensuring alignment with other organization tasks. This is why
Yeah.
we call it prioritize the onboarding and retention. Yeah.
Like that. So back to my question around retention of the clients, not the talents, of the clients. How do you transform an initial engagement into something that keeps on delivering value for the client, but also for you, your team, and you're able to like keep this client longer? How do you typically do that?
Yeah. So, we have let me do this. Like, we have a processes, okay? These
Hmm.
processes based on standardization, like leveraging technology. We build a strategic team structure to handle the increased demand without compromising quality or increasing costs. So this process is like a playbook. Okay, so we create like I don't know, let's say we create like reputable, documented playbooks and clear frameworks for any given service that we would like to deliver, and then we ensure the consistency even with the different team members. This is just to avoid any unplanned work, scalability, tips of scalability. And then there is something else that we consider, which is we sometimes adopt different frameworks for a larger scale uh, structure. And so maybe we structure teams around the value streams, focusing on delivery rather than isolation functions. With these steps and process, we are, let's say, trying to snatch some clients who might be interested in developing or renewal the customer success story that we are delivering. So like we also build a cross-function multi-skills teams. Okay, so we have a collaboration with partners, stakeholders, prospective clients in terms of building third-party providers with our consulting team. That's it.
Yeah. That does make sense. What's your, maybe to wrap up this interview, Mohammed, what's your biggest challenge right now? And challenge in the sense of like, once you crack that nut, you're going to be able to take your whole business to the next level. What's the next thing that you're trying to solve that will help you grow the fastest?
The biggest maybe challenge for myself and for the consultant team, I would say in the next 5 years, maybe bridging the gap between technology possibility and strategic implementation. This is one of the biggest opportunities we are facing right now. How we can bridge the gaps between technology and strategic implementation. Strategic implementation is very complicated because you have the economy, the governance, the compliance, the sustainability. All this comes as strategic implementation, as a context. You see what I mean? So we have so many factors, as I said, advising, helping nations, corporates, maybe navigating through increasing complexity of international security, technology, and data, building a standardization bodies, so this causes a lot of complex environment in terms of challenging gaps between technology and strategic implementation. Yes. Yeah.
And I was muted, which is why you couldn't hear me. And that does make a lot of sense. Dr. Kayyali Mohammed, ladies and gentlemen. Mohammed, if people want to find out more about you, see what you do, where should they go?
I'm active on LinkedIn. This is the only platform I can show up myself somehow. But usually the people, they can reach out to me by emails. I like emails. As I said at the beginning, I'm an old-fashioned guy. I like emails. Again, my LinkedIn is at Dr. Kayyali. So yeah, why not? Either way.
We'll put all the links in the description. It's weird, for some reasons I cannot add you on LinkedIn, but I'll put the link in the description, and people can find
I
you
have
there.
30,000 followers, so let's say I'm mid influencer. 30,000 followers. Yeah. So I will make sure to have you. Okay.
Sounds good. Mohammed, thank you so much for coming on Consulting Leaders.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Consulting Leaders podcast. We hope you learned valuable lessons on how to grow your practice and take your business to the next level. Make sure to subscribe and leave us a review wherever you're listening to this show so you never miss an episode. To apply and be a guest on the show, click the link in the description. See you next time.